Hey y'all, how are you doing tonight? Turn this light off over here for you. Oh, there she is. There she is. Hi, Betsy.
Hey.
Sorry, I got all dressed up for you tonight. You look beautiful.
That's okay. I would be the same way if it was my team.
Well, I am so excited that you are on the call, and I'm going to go ahead and mute, make sure everybody on here is muted.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. So that way while I'm talking, they won't. Aww. And then where's Betsy at? Okay. So I want to thank you so much for getting on our call tonight. I met Betsy at Jewel training and kind of heard a little bit of her story and got to know her. And actually before that, we were on a little chat and I kind of got to know her there as well and got to meet her in person at Jewel training. And just when she shared with me, I was just so inspired by her and her perseverance. And of course, I just fell in love with her. She is probably one of the sweetest people that I know. She is a huge encourager. And I am so very thankful to have met her on this journey. And I'm so super excited for y'all to hear from her tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Betsy.
Awesome, Angie. Thank you so much for having me and for those really kind words. I'm very humbled by that. So thank you so much. It's a blessing to know you as well. And it's truly my favorite part of this whole journey is the relationships and the friendships. And, I tell people that all the time, the money is great. The car is beautiful. The trips are amazing, but none of those things is as amazing as the relationships. That's truly the best part of this whole deal. So, and you're one of those people that have made an impact on my life too. So, hi team. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. My name's Besty Collard and I'm an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. And I'm just going to share a little bit with you about my journey. And my goal here is to just communicate to you what my struggles were and how I've overcame them and how I'm overcoming them. I'm still in process just like the rest of you guys. Just because you reach dual status does not mean that you stop hitting bumps and walls and going through things. We still have things that we go through and we still have mountains to climb. And so I've actually been an ambassador for 4 years. Yes, I've been an ambassador for 4 years. That's a pretty long time. When I started Plexus, I started really just like a lot of people. I had never done network marketing before, did not know what this was, did not even know this was network marketing, to be honest with you. Did not have a working upline. And, all I had was those little bitty old success guides. If you're brand new, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you've been in before January, you know what I'm talking about, the little bitty books, success guides, the old school ones. I was actually packing the other day because we're moving and I found my success guides and all that stuff. And that's all I had. I didn't really join this business to really rock it to the top at first. But I quickly caught the vision shortly after that. And I'm going to be looking down at my notes too. So if you see me look down, that's where I'm at. I'm not being weird or anything like that. So to make a long story short, I joined. I only joined for baby weight to lose a little baby weight, caught the vision, and I was like, well, maybe I could just get a few customers and a few, people to offset my cost. Within 3 months, I was able to supplement my income and be a stay-at-home mom, which was an answer to prayer. So at that point, I had the vision, right? I caught the fever. Like, I don't know. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. People that just like catch the fever. I decided to just go all in with this. But little did I know what all in would require. Little did I know that I was about to be in the best self-development journey of my entire life. And little did I know that the Lord would use this opportunity to pull me into my calling that he had for my life. So to make a really long story short, you guys, I got to work. I was like all excited, and I did everything I knew to do, which wasn't a lot. I wasn't a part of a team page or a team. When I went to convention, I didn't have an upline to be like, rah, 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 or anything like that. I just was like in this. And, it's not always about how you're going to do it. It's about why you're going to do it. I had no clue how I was going to do it, but I just knew I made up my mind I was going to do it. Well, I thought I was going to do it a lot quicker than I did. It took me 2 years to go senior Ruby. Now, I know that's not a long time in retrospect, but to me, it felt like eternity because I had a lot of sideline sisters who were up and coming, and they just popped right in there and had all this support. And, they had the tips and the tricks, and they knew what to do. And so they were shooting straight to the top. And I was just always like, I always had my head on other people's race. I was always stuck in comparison, the comparison trap, So I get to senior Ruby. I'm so excited. I'm like, whoa, I made it. I'm about to go emerald. It's on. Like, you get to that place and you think like, oh, it's on. For a lot of people it is. But when I got to senior Ruby, boom, smacked right into one of the hardest walls ever. My team started to go backwards, spiraling backwards right away. And I hit senior Ruby in July, and then by December, I was back down to senior gold points, which left me extremely discouraged, extremely confused. I had no idea as to why this was happening. I just knew something wasn't going quite right. Even though I was senior Ruby, guess how many people my team recruited that month of December? Y'all are going to really die when I tell you this. Two people joined my team that December. I really had to take a look inward. I had to decide, was I going to quit? Was this just too much for me to bear? Or was I going to look deep inside and figure out where the leaks in my pipeline were? Was I going to let this defeat me? Or was I going to let this be a stepping stone for me? Well, I am not a quitter by nature. I'm a very, Angie talks about how sweet I am, but I'm feisty. I'm very feisty. And I think it takes being feisty in this business for sure. You got to have some thick skin. I'm not one to throw in the towel and accept defeat very easily. So guess what Mama did? I got up, put my big girl panties on, and I decided that I was going to figure out what was going on. I was at a crossroads. Some of you may be at a crossroads right now in your journey. You may be thinking, is this really worth it? Should I go forward? Or should I just count my losses and just say, peace out, bye, talk to you guys later, love you, Angie, you've been great, but no. That's where I was. I didn't have anybody to throw deuces up to, but I was like, you know what? I am going to get up, dust myself off, and figure out what I need to do. So that's exactly what I did. Even though we only sponsored 2 people that December, I was determined to be emerald by July, okay? I had just come out of this horrible slump, spiraling backwards. So I get up, I decided to make a plan. I started contacting people that I knew could do that, have been experienced and have been successful. I took some notes and I got to work. So we started doubling our numbers every month. I think January we welcomed 15 people, which is not amazing for senior Ruby, you know, but it was something. I was excited. I went from 2 to 15, like I was pumped. Then February, we doubled again. We went to 30. I think in March, we over doubled and went to 70-ish, and then we got bigger and better. So here's the thing. I made it to Emerald by July. It was amazing. I was so excited, you guys. I mean, I was about to pop too. I was pregnant with my third child. As soon as I went Emerald, 3 days later, I gave birth. Literally, I was having contractions as I was going Emerald. Not kidding. Literally having contractions. I wasn't going to let anything stop me, though, because if you have a goal and a dream, you will not let anything stop you. It doesn't matter what happens. I could have been on the table, water breaking, and I would have been like trying to make it happen. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. So I get to that big green, and I'm like, woo! So excited. Mama had made it. I did it. Me and my team did it. I was pumped. Super pumped. Well, I got to enjoy that for just a little while until I hit another wall. Huge wall. Biggest wall ever. And the wall that I will be so grateful for forever and ever. And I truly believe it was the wall that the Lord put in my life so that he could help me to not only grow in my business, but to grow as a person and to be able to pass this on for many generations to come. And that's what I really want to talk to you guys about tonight. So the wall that came into my life, when you have a pattern that keeps happening in your life over and over, you have to really stop and think, what is this pattern telling me? This pattern is in my life for a reason. And you've got to really take ownership of that. You know, you can't shift blame and woe is me. And, you know, I'm just unlucky one. A lot of times when there's a pattern in our lives, it's something to do so deep that we have to change. We've got to figure out what it is and get rid of it. And so, you know, I might have been bored at night, but not last night. So after hitting this wall a couple times, I realized something just wasn't adding up. Yes, I made it to Emerald. Yes, I did this. Yes, I did that. But every time I would hit these huge walls. So I started seeking the Lord about it and praying, really praying, you guys. And I'm talking like tears, crying myself to sleep, like, God, what is going on? This is a pattern and I've got to break it. I don't know what's up. So God started speaking to me about my thought life. He started speaking to me about scriptures about thoughts and that I was a negative person. Oh, ouch. That hurts, really hurts. When you realize that you're a glass half empty type girl and not a glass half full, it stings. It really does sting. But Lord, I'm so thankful that he gave me the gentle revelation that I was that person. Because you know what? It has set me free in so many ways. I'm going to share a little bit more about that in a second. So what was the wall? The wall was that I had negative self-talk. I didn't believe in myself. I spoke to myself in a negative way. I thought things about myself that were negative. I thought things about my goals that were negative. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my goals. I truly did not believe that I was good enough. I didn't believe I was deserving. I didn't believe that I could really make a difference in people's lives. Yes, I had made it to Emerald, but I didn't make it to Emerald with the right mindset. I made it to Emerald on sheer grit and grind, you guys. I do believe it was the Lord's plan for me to be Emerald, and I do believe that he helped me. But I also believe that he got me to that place, and then he was like, okay, now we got to work on this. If you're going to get to Diamond, we've got to work on this. If you're going to be the mama that you're supposed to be, then we've got to work on this. If you're going to be the leader that I've called you to be, we've got to work on this. And you know what? That wall was super hard to deal with. But praise God for that wall. You may be experiencing a wall in your life right now. Instead of resenting the wall, I want you to appreciate the wall, because what you're going to do, you're going to dig deep and figure out, why is this wall happening in my life? And then you're going to put on your combat boots and you're going to throw a rope over that wall and you're going to climb that wall. And guess what? When you get over that wall, you're going to have an army waiting on the other side for you to tell them exactly how you did it. Because this journey is not about us. This journey is way more about other people than it is about us. So here's what happens. I realize I'm toxic. I realize I have a toxic mindset. God's so faithful. Whenever he brings these things to your life, he's not just going to leave you there and say, hey, Angie, you've got this issue, go deal with it on your own. He's going to give you the tools. As you seek him, he's going to give you the tools to overcome. And so one of the tools for me was I went to one night, we have Dr. Caroline Leaf. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of her, but she's an amazing Christian, but she's also a neuroscientist, okay? And she knows how the brain works and how thoughts work and how thoughts control everything. And so I went there and I got a hold of her book, Switch on Your Brain, and I read it. And listen, it was just like revelation after revelation, and it started speaking about how your thoughts literally control your life. Your brain does not control your life. Your thoughts do. That, even the Bible says, for as a man thinks, so is he. Whatever you're thinking about yourself and about your journey is going to be what is. So if there's doubt about your journey, if there's doubt about who you are, if there's negative thoughts and negative words coming out of your mouth, you're actually speaking those things into existence. You're actually going to do exactly what your thoughts are telling your brain to do, okay? It's just a physiological principle. It's scientific, but it's also biblical, okay? So it's not this weirdo stuff. This is legit. So I'm reading this, I'm going through this, and then, I'm just like, okay, Lord, how do I overcome this? She teaches you a little bit. She teaches you a lot about it in the book, but I just needed something else. So, God, I've been so blessed with some amazing mentors on my journey in Plexus. And Sonia Dudley, I'm sure most of you know her. She's a very close friend of mine. She's one of my very close mentors. And she started working with me on affirmations and understanding how powerful that can be and is to changing your whole life. So we started working on my affirmations, my positive affirmations about myself. What I had to do, and it's a 3-step process. The first step was I had to identify what those fears were. I had to identify what the negative self-talk was in my life. What was I really fearing? What did I really not believe in my life? Was it that I didn't believe I was a good enough leader? Was I just not feeling deserving? I'll tell you a few things that I had struggled with was not feeling worthy, undeserving, not chosen, not good enough. All those things stemmed from traumatic experiences in my childhood. Some of you may be experiencing self-doubt, and it may not be traumatic. It just may be something your mom or dad or somebody in your family may have told you your whole life. You're just not good at this, or you're just not good at that. And it's a thought that you've believed your whole life, so therefore you're carrying it out in your adulthood. So first you have to identify what those things are. Then you have to figure out why. Why did this happen? For me, not feeling chosen was an instance in grade school whenever the kids didn't want to play with me. I mean, who would want to play with me, for crying out loud, right? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just kidding, you guys. But seriously, there was a time that the girls ganged up on me and didn't want to play with me. So I, at that moment, made a decision that I just wasn't good enough and I wasn't chosen. And I had to go back and relive those things and figure it out. And then I had to develop a positive affirmation that completely counteracted those things. And so now I know that I'm chosen. Now I have affirmations that say I'm valued, loved, chosen. I am an awesome leader. People do want to hear what I have to say. I've got these amazing affirmations that I developed that I've been doing probably 8 or 9 months now. Now here's what happened. Within 2 weeks, I started seeing a huge change in my life just by changing my thoughts. Because when you change your thoughts, you change your words. When you change your words, you change your actions. When you change your actions, when you change your behavior, you change your actions. When you change your actions, you change your results. And when you change your results, you change your destiny, you guys. 2 weeks. Started 2 weeks, and I started seeing a drastic difference, okay? Within a month, other people were seeing a difference. I had diamond ambassadors that I had never met before that I had been looking up to forever, messaging me, telling me, this about you and that about you. And I'm like, what? Like, really? That's crazy. And now I think I'm like 8 or 9 months into this, and Lord willing, I will be Sapphire by the end of June, and I will be a Diamond Ambassador this year, and I believe that, and it will happen. But it never, ever would have happened if I would have stayed in that toxic place of negativity. You may even been thinking, well, maybe I'm not negative. I'm just not a negative person. You may not be negative by nature, but I'm almost willing to bet most of us struggle with self-doubt, limiting beliefs about ourselves. You've got to get rid of those things, because the reason they're called limiting beliefs is because they limit you from fulfilling your potential on your life and your business. This is going to be something that changes the rest of your life, you guys. I want you to go get that book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, by Shad Helmstetter, ShadHelmstetter, Shad Helmstetter. Read it, apply it, do it. It will change your life. It's not only changing my life as a leader, and I get emotional when I talk about this, you guys, because this is legit. I tell people you could get to diamond with 10% skill and 90% mindset rather than 90% skill and 10% mindset, okay? So you can read all the network marketing books in the world, and that's great. But if you don't have this and you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to apply those things, okay? And you're going to doubt yourself the whole way. So I'm not knocking all the, I've read dozens and dozens of books, but this is the book that has changed my life forever. And I believe with all in my heart that it will change your life forever too. It's something that I've started applying with my children. We don't even allow them to say C-A-N-T anymore. Can't is like a curse word in our house. Like, we don't even allow them to do that, because we want them to believe in themselves, to speak it, to already have the mindset of success, and know that they're valued and loved, and know that, God loves them, we love them. And it's just something that's truly changed everything. So here's the thing. Now that I've gotten used to doing this, like, my mind is constantly saying my affirmations. Like, even when my mind wants to go to the negative, I have these affirmations drilled in me that it's like, oh no, don't do it. Don't go there. You can't do it. No. And I just rehearse the new, and I'm reprogramming it. You got to erase and then replace, and replace that old hard drive of your brain with a new one so that you can get a different output. Okay, last thing I'll share with you is this little tip that Sonia gave me. And there's an app called Repeat It Again on iPhones. Now, as far as an Android, I have no idea. Somebody on my team asked me that as well. I said, maybe go Google. Google would probably tell you. It's called Repeat It Again. And I'll show you on my phone really quick what it looks like. Hold on. Okay, you may be able to see it or may not. Okay, so you see these little numbers? It gives you 9. You can record up to 9 affirmations, and you can listen to it up to 20 times, okay? So while you're getting dressed for work, when you're on your way to work, when you're cooking dinner, I want you to listen to these affirmations over and over and over again. Even if you're not speaking them, your subconscious is taking it in, okay? And it's going to act accordingly. When it gets downloaded into your subconscious, your body is just going to take action, because your mind does not know whether you're telling it the truth or telling it a lie. So you need to be telling your mind exactly what you want your body to output, okay? That's all I've got for you guys. I hope that was helpful to you in some way, shape, or form. That's been my journey in a nutshell, and I'm just so thankful and humbled that the Lord is allowing me to use this. I'm in process with you guys. Don't worry. I haven't reached, I'll never reach the highest heights. None of us ever will. But that's just where I am and what's helped me tremendously. So thanks, Angie.
Oh my goodness, Betsy, thank you so very much. I love your story. I love your passion. You are definitely a huge inspiration to me. And I know that several people on this, everyone on this team. And I did have a question. Someone asked, okay, so What is your number one tip for recruiting ambassadors that want to work the business?
Okay, that's a great question. So, I lead with the business always. I always lead with the business. And I think the biggest thing to keep in mind with that is follow up. A lot of times when you approach people at the beginning, they're a little taken back. I find that not many people say yes on the very first try. It takes follow up, and it takes you going into it and knowing if they say no, that it is not never, it's just maybe not right now. Keep them on your list. Ask them if you can check back in with them in a few months. See how they're doing. Let them know how you're doing. Keep following up. I've got people on my team. It took me 2 years for them to join my team, really, and they jumped in and wanted to work the business. Another tip for people wanting to work the business is we have a lot of people on our team that join for wholesale pricing that end up working the business right away, because we do, and y'all might be doing this as well, but we implemented this about a year ago, the 3-way welcome calls whenever they join. Every person that joins our team always gets a 3-way welcome call with the newbie, the sponsor, and the sponsor's sponsor, okay? And part of that welcome call shares the journey of the sponsor. So I might share a little bit about myself, hear a little bit about them. They may just want wholesale pricing coming into it, but by the end of it, when we explain, hey, most people at least want to get their products for free. Let's set up a mini video conference with your friends and family. And I got that idea from my friend Amy Paul. And we'll get that going. A lot of times people end up joining for the products, but they end up doing the business. So I think it's just in the approach and the follow up with them all the way around. I feel like it's follow up, and I feel like it's all about relationships for sure.
So on your 3-way call, can you just kind of tell me a little bit of how you do that?
Then the 3-way welcome call, I start out, share a little bit about my journey in a nutshell. Then I find out why they decided to join Plexus. Maybe it's just to get healthy. Maybe it's to lose a little weight. Maybe they want, whatever it is. I find out a little bit about them. Most of the time I'll do these with my level ones, and then they do them with their level ones. But I already know ahead of time if they're coming into it wanting to work the business or if they're not. So I take a different angle for each approach. I may be a little more, if it's somebody coming and wanting to work the business, I shoot the business stuff at them right away. Some really quick tips. And I can send you that outline, Angie, that I use. If they're just coming in wanting wholesale pricing, I take a little bit of different approach, a little bit more low key. If you get a few people to join you, we can help you. You'll actually get your products for free. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. Kind of like a more low-key approach. Then when they get their feet wet, they're more excited. But I've had a lot of people that after hearing my story, and knowing that I wasn't a salesman, knowing that I had never done this before, and just kind of hearing the simplicity of it, by the end, they're like, well, yeah, I don't see why not. And those end up being like the biggest business builders, a lot of the times. So that's it. I do have some people that join strictly for the business that are rocking and rolling on my team. But I think it's kind of just like a sifting and sorting type thing. That's just my take on it.
Yes, I love those. I've done some kind of similar to that, but I would love to see that outline.
Sure. Absolutely.
So I've always heard that people do really good at those. And I've been really curious about what Amy Paul does, because it's the same thing as the other Amy does, those video calls with potentials.
We do those. Yes. And we got that from Amy. It's super simple. It's a Zoom. They get 3 to 5 of their family and friends there. Super simple. I share, and the way I do it exactly like Amy does it. Share a little bit about my testimony, a little bit about the 5-4, Triplex and X Factor, a little bit about the biz. Takes 25 minutes. If they have any questions, we've had almost a 95% sign-on rate with those.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. And is there an actual outline for that too, or is it kind of a wing it?
No, there's not an outline for it, but I know Amy has a video that she's done. I'll try to find the link for you, Angie, and
Oh,
send it
that
to
would be
you.
awesome. Yes, that would be awesome. Does anyone else have a question that they would like? Okay, so what was the second book? That second book that you said was what?
This is the book that I suggest everybody gets, and it's What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad, S-H-A-D, Helmstetter. You can buy it off of Amazon really cheap. It's not expensive at all.
What to say?
And I have another one down here that I'm about to start reading. This is one that Sonia recommends as well. It's called Self-Talk, Soul Talk by Jennifer Rothschild. It's supposed to be a really, really good read as well. I haven't gotten into this one yet, though.
I'm typing that one in there, too. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions for Betsy while we still have her on the line? Feel free to post them here. If you do, you can just post them in the chat. But if not, I just thank you, Betsy. I've kind of heard your story, but I don't think I've heard it as in depth as I did tonight. And you are such a huge inspiration to me. And you are a true blessing. You know, something that I have to share with you is when I was going Sapphire, or the month that I went Sapphire, it really kind of like, I wasn't even expecting to go Sapphire. And I kind of wanted to quit until I get this message from Betsy. And she just like totally poured into me. She's like, you are going to do this. Don't stop. Keep going. And that just meant so much to me. And that made me want to do it even more. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do this because I have to do it for Betsy. And so thank you for that. Thank you for that encouragement. And that's the same thing with me. I love that. I love the relationships that we've built. You know, my sideline sisters have been some of my biggest cheerleaders and biggest encouragers. And I just love that. And I thank you for that. And I cannot wait to see you in Vegas and give you a great big hug. And I am so excited about you going Sapphire soon. I'm going to be praying for you, and I love you, and I hope that you have a wonderful night. And thank you so much for taking your time to speak with a team. I really appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much for having me. It's such a joy and an honor, you guys. Thanks so much. Love you guys so much.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you, Betsy.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.